The history of the Cullinan diamond is an epitome of the history of colonialism and imperialism, said University of South Africa Professor Evaristo Benyeira. It is a history of denying Africans their humanity and their rights, unquote. Well, alarmingly, that denial of humanity and rights continues today. He is an armed, darkly tanned white supremacist trying to deny the humanity and rights of South African looters during a spot of civil unrest a couple of years ago, a mere 60 years after South Africa became its own nation. The most common lament about the coronation this week, other than it will be an anachronistic ceremony featuring stolen diamonds, concerns the outdated notion of subjects swearing allegiance to a monarch. It should be the other way around, Republicans say. Well, this ignores the fact that, under Charles, that is already the case. His obsequiousness to wokery is more fawning than Adam Bant at a Greta Thunberg lecture. The Telegraph in London reports King Charles will pray aloud at the coronation and pledge to serve all faiths, and the service will highlight the King's respect in what has been hailed as a show of commonality between the religions. The story goes on to say that the King will be the first to pray aloud at a coronation, in which he will ask for a blessing of every faith and religion. It goes on, quote, "For the King, this means that for the first time in history, the service will include the active participation of non-Christian faith leaders in recognition and celebration of multicultural Britain." And for anyone who still doubts Charles's intention to be a multicultural monarch, here he is, desperately seeking, if you will pardon the pun, affirmation while sitting on the floor of an Indian prayer hall in Luton last year. Charles's credentials with the other totem of wokery, climate change, needs no introduction. Suffice to say, there isn't a single place on the planet he won't visit in a private jet, nor an overpaid, sanctimonious celebrity he won't rub shoulders with in order to save the planet from the destruction being wrought by the rest of us commoners. And as The Guardian reports, the recent emergence of a document linking one of Charles's predecessors from 350 years ago with a stake in a slave-owning company, Charles has called in the finest historical detectives to investigate this stain on his family's good name. "I cannot describe the depths of my personal sorrow at the suffering of so many," the King said, "as I continue to deepen my own understanding of slavery's enduring impact." Unquote. Could he be more apologetic for something he never did? You'd think that this deference to wokeness would get the Republicans, who share his views about everything, off Charles's back. After all, it has worked for the closest thing the United States has to a royal family, the Bidens. Compared to the Bidens, the Windsors look like a nunnery full of Mother Teresas. Their crimes are many, but these don't even blip the radar of the people who think the British monarchy is a front for a firm of kleptocrats. It's not as if the Biden racket is breaking news. The Bidens have been at it for as long as old Joe has been in politics.